All right, we're live. Let me hang on. This one. This is a process.
I'm going to drag you over to the first.
There, I got it. Okay, we're live. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. It's actually Monday night, so it's not Monday Night Draw. Meredith's not here. She will be here next week, which I'm very excited about. That'll be a lot of fun. It's been too long. I'm pretty sure I know she's looking forward to it. She is and she's not, because it's always a commitment. And today she spent the whole day cleaning the house. We have so much work we're doing outside. Anyway, I'm going to go into this whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pumped. We're going to be drawing some panels. Eric has an idea for a panel that he's going to give me. What we'll do is when Eric tells me, and we haven't told each other what we're going to draw beforehand because I really want to think about how I want to approach it here. And I don't want to have been, kind of running it through my head and then already have some ideas of how I'm going to go about it. I wanted to really kind of run that through with you guys and get your comments, hopefully, in the chat. If you guys have any ideas about how you think we should approach it, I'll try and incorporate some of that stuff and maybe try some different angles, and it's going to be fun. So, are you excited for this one, Eric?
Yeah, very excited. It's a skill that really trying to learn, and it's having this opportunity now to see you go through it and your thought process, and it'll be a whole lot of fun and educational. So yeah, pretty excited for this one.
It's gonna be a blast. Also, I have walls in my office and a floor. I did that last weekend, so it's all okay, 95% done, but whatever, it's done enough for us now. And I managed to put in a backdrop, so I actually have it looks like a proper studio. Truthfully, I mean, if I pan the camera around, it's not much, but behind me it looks good. So I'm excited about that too. I don't have just like this wall directly behind me with blank walls behind it. So that's great. This also, I want to mention just before we get started, I have a course coming up from proco.com/comic page is the actual URL for it. There's a link in the description. And I think Eric, you and Russ put up and by the way, thank you very much again, Russ Hicks, for moderating. It's been great all summer. Really appreciate it. But yeah, it should be at the top of the chat, I think.
Yeah, it's pinned at the top.
Okay. And Amateur Artist said that he congratulated me on the egg. Yeah, we've had like 5 or 6 eggs now. Like they're rolling. We've got 5 chickens, so they're pumping them out. So I finally had some. Meredith had a couple. The kids had some. I thought, you know what, I'll wait. So yeah, but they're great. I don't know, they're eggs. Okay, here we go. I'm going to switch to my other camera here. There's a way, Eric, I know you can do like I even have one of these little things where you press a button and it all works. And
so I'm going to move you over to the left-hand side. There we go.
All right. Oh, and by the way, so we actually got a complaint from our neighbor. We had along one side of our property, we had a lot of weeds just around just a fringe, and he was very upset about that. And he was afraid they were going to spread pollen and ruin his yard. So I was out there with a brush cutter all weekend, and I trashed my hand a little bit. So fun times. All right.
I'm going to zoom out just a touch here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. Oh, I'm on the left now. I'm looking at the wrong side.
Yeah, I made sure to move it. Now it looks like you're drawing with both hands, unless you want me to move it back.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's one comment we got on the painting stream. It looked like you were painting with both hands.
Yeah.
All right, so I had 2 scenes that I was thinking about, and you can either choose one, or if you want me to really choose one, I will. So the first one I was thinking was kind of like maybe a low-angle shot of a truck like careening down a road and like T-boning another car, like almost like a cash heist going on. With you can see a bit of the city, in the background.
Okay.
Maybe like the truck, coming in this way and T-boning this car, so that maybe starts flipping over or something. The other one I was thinking was kind of like a big bad in his I don't know what you call it, conference room, lair, whatever.
Yep.
Nice big desk, a guy maybe stroking his cat, whatever, sitting at his chair, and then maybe 2 henchmen or goons holding a guy in front of him, maybe like a fish tank in the background. I don't know. Kind of like a mobster thing.
All right. Yeah.
Now,
those both sound great. Oh, hey, Dan Lazard's here. Good to see you. I owe Dan a call tomorrow. Dan, I owe you a call tomorrow. I'm sorry. With the office and everything, it got crazy. And yeah, but it's good to see you here. Tom McCart is here. Kevin Mandevil's here. Nick from Detroit is here. Simon Kucher. I'm missing a bunch of you guys. And I was, as we're talking, I'm seeing the chat scroll, and I'm thinking, I don't want to miss anybody. But you guys are all here to see us get started here. So I'm thinking, let's do the shot of the truck first.
Okay.
And so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with just some simple layouts. And so I figure I'm going to go with the horizontal panel. I'll try a couple of different panel shapes. Where's my eraser? And you can see it's very small. Let me zoom in. I'm going to be drawing really small for these, but I don't want it to be so small you can't see what I'm doing. These are also going to be incredibly loose. That's closer, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. So we've got a city street. We've got a car being hit, being T-boned. So I'm thinking I kind of want to have the truck kind of like here. I'm just going to draw it as like just a, and you said a low angle shot. Now I kind of want to like not describe the shot angle.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to do a couple of different angles just because I want to try a couple of different things. But and look at this. I've done this, and now I've angled my ground the wrong way. Let me fix that. There we go.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a 18-wheeler, if it's a cash heist or whatever. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, well, I'm just drawing it as a block right now.
Yeah.
And so what I already have, and I've just roughed this in really quickly, but One Mighty R's here. Good to see you. Sid V. This is basically a 3-point perspective. So I've got, and I can just based on what I have, I've got a point kind of coming up. I'm going to say just about here. And my next point is going to be, so my horizon is below because I'm looking up at this whole thing. And so I'm just going to kind of quickly rough in these points here. Just like that. And this is just a quick layout. So I had another point about here. I want the other one to be closer. And I'm going to put it just about here, horizontal, because this would be my horizon line. So I'll put it about here and just kind of rough it in. And I'm sure these aren't lining up perfectly with my point, but it doesn't really matter so much right now because we're just kind of roughing in. So, and I also need the car that's getting T-boned. So I'm going to draw it just quickly right now, just as here's a shape over here and here's another bit of it here. And I can have stuff flying off of there. I think I want to make this a little bit bigger because you really don't see it. So there's the car getting hit, all glass flying all out through here. I have my little guy going, oh no, here. Anyway, maybe some people in the background. Fire hydrant. Basically what I want to do here is have just like a little element. I'm going to make it like a bit of a triangular composition. So maybe a street light there, a couple of people, a few things just to give the street a little bit of interest. So my car getting hit takes up that kind of space there.
And you're using that to kind of frame the panel as well, right?
Yeah, just like a little bit there. I can put the sidewall of a building here. Maybe I'll just go dark with the ground. I don't know if I would do that, but I'm just throwing that in for now. And then my buildings would go back here. So that's like a really simple, quick layout. You can see it's a total mess, but I just kind of want to get the idea of the angle that I'm going to go for with that one. So now that I've got that, I'm going to try a different angle on that. And let's do the same panel shape. The next one we'll do a different panel shape. And I think I'll do a bit of a low angle looking down at it. And I'm going to have, let's see. My truck coming through here. And then the car getting hit and crashed up this way here. And so my angle here is my third point is about here. And then I've got my horizon above it because I'm looking down at it. And so I've got one point here. And then the other point I'm going to want to put pretty far out, just about there. My recommendation for finding points, find an artist. I really recommend Brian Hitch. He's phenomenal at doing perspective. And you can look through a book and find panels and just kind of figure out where the points are. So find an angle that's kind of similar and get a general idea of where the points are. You know what, Eric? Hold on. Yeah. I want to show you guys. So I've got this book right here. This is a bunch of old Marks of Vestry stuff, which is, incredible. And speaking of street scenes, here we go. Oh, nice. It's a random page that I opened it to, but let me just find a panel that's got some, good perspective. So, I want to draw, let's say this scene right here. And so I think it looks like he's gone parallel with it. I'm not going to do that, but what I will do is I'll say, okay, I want, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to have maybe, what do you think, Eric? I'll do a city street, And so he's got his panel shape kind of like this. Am I in the panel? No, here. And such an easy way to use something like this is I can see he's got there's a 3-point perspective. He's got it flat. I'm going to not draw it flat. So here's one point coming through like this. The other point looks like it's coming through about like this. And then I'll draw my third point way down here just to give it, I like 3-point perspectives versus doing something that's a little more isometric like that. And then, I can put my own elements in there. I've got, some buildings in the background here, sidewalks and people walking on it and, that kind of thing. And maybe my car and it's crashing into a car here. And, there you go. I could draw that whole scene this way and maybe some more people here. Another car parked, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that this is a really good trick if you're not comfortable with. And the idea of just finding perspective it just kind of blows your mind a little bit. I really recommend trying that. Just, get perspectives from different artists and give it a try. All right. So I've got that angle here. And let's do one more. I'm going to do one where I'll do a vertical panel more like, actually, we already kind of did a vertical panel like this. I don't want to do that shot though. I think what I'd like to do is straight on. So maybe not. Yeah, straight on. So I've got I don't like it. I need to rethink this. There's too much going on for it to work straight on. If it was just the car, I could do like a point here and have the road in front of me, and like some elements in the background, my buildings, and it would work. But with the car getting hit, it's too much. So I'm thinking I would do something a little bit more like this, except maybe change the angle a little bit. So I've got my car coming here and then the car getting hit and smacked up and everything. But ultimately, whatever, this is the angle that's going to work the best. Oh, you know what? There's one other angle. You didn't mention this one. I don't know. And this really comes down to, because the writer will tell you what they're thinking. Page One Comics says, Jimmy says, what's the name of that black and white Silvestri book? It is Marvel Comics Essentials Wolverine. I'm zoomed in, so you can't really see it. But I got this years and years ago. I had a bunch of them, and I lent them out, and they're hard to find. Anyway, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to draw the same kind of a scene again, and this might be more effective. And so I've got my truck here. Here's a wheel, and then I've got my car getting hit here. And, stuff all over the place. And I could do like a bit of a burst so you really see the damage. So that could work too. I actually like that angle quite a bit. But the thing about this angle is if I want to show the person in the car here, it's not really going to show. So, but I kind of like this angle better. I feel like this one here, it looks a little confused. This one here feels like I could put some speed lines in there and really ram that car in there. What do you think, Eric? I'm
actually kind of partial to the first one.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with the first one.
Just because, yeah, like you said, you can see the driver, whatever, but you also see the full impact of the. Now the last one you did is also cool too because you can make out more of the truck and that's your primary, subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this one here I think would work in conjunction with another panel.
Yeah.
Like I would draw, let's say I've got a panel previous, and you see the driver of the truck, he's got the wheel here, and he's like, oh, he's holding the wheel, and you see it from like inside the cab, and then he smacks into it. And maybe the previous panel, you see them, coming together. So that would work, I think, really well. And I think actually I would want to use that one. If I were drawing a comic, I'd want to start with that shot and then go to that shot. And then I could show like the aftermath of it, but it shows the impact really well.
Yeah. Go for the second one then if you want. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Henry Jeremick says, I kind of like the second angle, but that's just me. No worries. And the second angle, I think, Henry, do you mean this one here? I don't think anybody.
Sorry, I think the last one.
The last one
being the first and second being the last.
Okay, so you know what? Let's go with this one here. I think that really kind of works.
Yeah.
All right, and before we move on, before I do this, now let's just go ahead and do this. What do you think? I need another piece of paper. You know what? I've used up all my space. Let me erase something. It's a headache drawing perspective on the back of a page because I don't have the hash lines. And by that, I mean these blue lines on the edge of the page. I can line up my panels really quickly and easily. So it makes my life easier. I don't want to.
Meredith says the last one drives the point home. No pun intended, I guess.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to quickly. So this is my parallel ruler. This is a mapping tool. It's not really actually, this is an antique. It's not ideal because I had one that's clear and I can't find it. So ages ago.
After seeing your drawing perspective video that you brought out, which folks can still get, by the way, on Dave's Gumroad, if Russ can link that. I remember when I first saw that video, I went ahead and bought this right away. So you can find them on Amazon. They're just they're a mapping tool.
Yeah, I got the ones that I've bought before, aside from this one, which I got in an antique shop. I just got them from binnacle.com.
Yeah, you can buy from there.
Anyway, I really like them, and I'll show you why. Let me especially show you why. It's a great parallel, or it's a great T-square. But the best thing about these, and I know a bunch of you guys have seen this already, but I can just kind of separate it out, and then I can draw a ton of parallel lines really, really quickly and easily without having to reset my ruler. So that's why. All right. You definitely made a difficult one for this because I'm going to have to make up some cars.
Oh, sorry.
There's no time for, I'm going to zoom out because now this is going to get a little big. One Mighty R says, what's the name of that ruler? I'm going to order one. Just go to binnacle.com. Here, let me write it down. It's Binnacle.
Yeah, 2 N's. I think it's.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
.com. Yeah, I'm not paid by binnacle.com. I don't have sponsors. All right. Let me zoom out. So, Eric, you think about giving this one a try?
Oh, I'm going to do it too?
Well, you can.
Yikes. Okay. Yeah, why not?
Okay, here we go.
Let me get mine.
So looking at my thumbnail here, I've got a line that's coming about like this, another one like this, and then I can see pretty clearly my point is just going to be about here. I'm going to put it just about here. Let's see how that works. Maybe a little tighter there. Okay. And I'm roughing in really quickly the basic shapes that I had before. I've got my car getting hit here. So by drawing the ground like this, I'm effectively drawing it as if it would be rounded. It's the only way you'd see it from that angle. So I'm going to go with that, and I think It'll work. We'll see. You know what? My other option here. I'm going to lift my point just a little bit. So I'm going to lift it up to about here. And then I can actually give myself a foreground. And I'm just roughing this. I'll put in some proper perspective. It won't take long. My third point is going to be just about like this. And my point is way off the page, way up here. This is going to work pretty well. What you want to do is you want to make sure you don't have one line here and then one way out over here. I used to, years ago, I actually had like a yardstick with another yardstick taped to it, and I was crazy with this stuff, trying to make sure all my points were perfect. When it gets this narrow, when the point gets that far away, you really don't need to do that. And so I've got one point here. I'm going to draw my other point. It's going to be just about here. So I think that's going to work. And so I'm going to really quickly, Eric, I'm just going to go ahead and draw in some of my perspective, just so I've got something proper to work with here. I moved my paper. I lost my point. SES Powerlifting is here with a super chat, $5. Thank you very much. It's great to see you, SES, as always. Taking notes, so don't skip on the good stuff. All right. Yeah, you know what? For me to do proper perspective, this is going to take a little longer. For me to not do it, I feel like you guys don't get as much out of it. So I'm going to do it. So I've got a point. There. So you can see it. So I'll leave the camera there while I'm using that point. Here we go. I'm not going to draw a ton of perspective. I usually go, let me show you. This is about how tight I would normally go when I'm drawing a page, just about like this. I'm not going to do that because we don't want to be here all day. So I'm just going to make these a little wider and kind of fake it just a little bit. And these are going to be loose drawings. This is a problem of doing any kind of a perspective panel tutorial, Eric, is
drawing the grid, yeah.
It's drawing a grid, and I'm sure some of you are watching this, you're going, holy crap, like really, you have to do this? What a hassle. And yeah, it's a hassle, but once I've got this, I want my other point just here. Once I have this, you'll see how easy this makes the whole thing from here. It's like magical. And I cannot stress enough again to look at comic artists that are really good with perspective. Brian Hitch, I keep saying Brian Hitch. There are others, obviously, but I really like how he does that stuff, and I think it's really effective. So,
did you catch SES Powerlifting's super chat?
I did, yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Great.
All right. I'm going to end up hitting my... Okay, good enough. And then my third point, I'm just going to, this would be, you know what, I've got another ruler. Use my cheapo clear one. And I'm just going to kind of guess these in just a little bit. So I know I'm about here. I know, like, since I've got it roughed, I can pretty well do this without coming off and making a mess. And this is just so much faster than if I was to really kill myself and do this in proper perspective. So what I need to have the knowledge of how proper perspective is going to work. And then you can estimate it pretty well. And this isn't going to be perfect, but it doesn't need to be. When your lines are so far apart like this, no one will ever know the difference. As a matter of fact, with me doing this right here, I can tell you right now, this is actually more than most comic artists do. Like Greg Capullo very much freehands his stuff, and he doesn't do any of this at all. And he doesn't need to. I do need to. So
yeah, it's such a good point. There's some books out there that go over perspective, and man, they get mathematical, and it'll blow your mind. And then you'll wake up the next morning, you'll forget everything you've read, and it's just they way overcomplicate things.
They really do, yeah. Sometimes. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and lighten this down. I have a feeling I'm going to beat you on this one.
No doubt.
Okay, so I'm going to draw this like it's 3 o'clock in the morning and the page is due tomorrow, and I already drew 2 pages that day. So that's how this is going to go. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead. I know I've got my truck basically here. I'm just going to start to block it in. I went too wide with the truck, by the way. So let me. And you know what? Let's do this like a Brinks kind of a truck.
Yeah.
And I'm totally going to make up a Brinks truck. I have no idea. I've actually drawn one before, I guess. So I should have a better idea than I do, but I really don't. So we'll see how this comes out.
Michael Johnson Curry. Hey, I'm taking your course on Proco. I wanted to say thank you for all the help. I wanted to tell you in Dallas, but I guess times are crazy right now.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it again soon. Yeah, I was gonna see Eric. Eric is in Texas, and we're gonna get some dinner and meet his family a little bit. And I was looking forward to it. And just traveling right now. Ultimately, what it comes down to, I'm gonna be. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be in Calgary next weekend. I just couldn't afford to take the risk of getting there and then testing positive for COVID and not being able to get home, So I just thought, okay, well, I'll wait. Hopefully one day. I'm roughing some windows, maybe like a door latch, some kind. This is going to be like a total cheese ball drawing. And really getting reference for this is, it's not hard. So I wouldn't do it this way. But you guys don't want to sit here while I try and fumble for reference, I'm sure. Torvellis Arts has a $5 super chat. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. He says, I've been following Andrew Adams, and his layouts are super detailed with perspective lines. Andrew Adams. I'll have to check that out. Thank you.
It might mean Art. Maybe Art Adams?
Art Adams? Yeah, you know what? It might be. Okay, that would make sense. And yes, they really are.
Yeah, he shows some pretty sweet process shots on his Instagram.
Yeah, and it's work to get those in. But once you have them, you can see how I'm just basically dropping this in thoughtlessly at this point. Like it's very, very quick and easy for me to just, bake in a truck. And, the truth is that deadlines get bad enough. This is exactly how I would draw a truck. I don't have time to be looking for stuff. I just fake it. What the heck?
So glad you chose this one over the.
Why is that?
Over the other scene.
Were you afraid of the other one?
Yeah, just because of all the details of the interior. The fish tank and like three people.
The other one would have been easier,
Think so?
Yes.
I'm saying that as if this one's easy.
Okay, so I'm in perspective coming up just about like this. So I want my wheel to be at a 90-degree angle to that line. I did a video on drawing cars and talked about that quite a bit. So if you're curious why, check out that video. Double wheels in the back.
This is where the wheels, get it, are going to come off for me.
Yeah, I'm getting really loose here. It's all right. All right. I tell myself it's all right. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all right.
So which perpendicular did you come off there?
What are you talking about? Oh, okay. So my horizon line is here. It's coming through the wheel, and so it would come up here. Let me just erase that off of there. Draw the cab. I wish I could get away with this drawing comics. Smack it in like this. Who cares?
You're so fast with it.
All right, here's another one. Another wheel, I mean. My bumper is going to be a little messed up. A handle on my door. Maybe a little step for somebody to step in there. My other wheel is going to be just about in perspective. Just let's see, just about here.
Actually, you're killing me. Let's go here.
So there's my ground. Oh, shoot. I'm falling behind. Hold on. And I don't know where my mouse is. Oh, right here. All right, hold on. Michael Johnson Curry says, "I forgot my question. I seem to be stuck as an artist. I'm better than amateur, but not at pro level yet. What's the best way to close the gap?" I think the best way to close the gap is and by the way, I think that your work is very, very good. Doing, and we've been doing this kind of all summer. We did some figure drawing, just some, gesture drawing. I think that's really important. Study from other artists. You pick artists that you really like, doing those kinds of studies. And these sorts of layouts, just really quick and just getting really good and fast at being able to just rough in these kinds of things is very, very important. So I've got my car roughed in here. I'm going to have my car. And we had two others. I'm sorry. Heatetic has a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. And he says, "You guys are the best." Oh, you're the best. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Jeffrey Niffen has a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. He says, "If you are US, Weems and Plath make a nav ruler."
Yeah, that's the one I have. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you got the wrong type.
Yeah. That's what's wrong. That's what's
If it's
wrong.
not Binnacle, it's crap. I don't know. I've only ever used Binnacle.
Yeah, no.
Well, the only reason I ever used Binnacle, and I'm sure they're all the same, my ruler, the original one that I got, because it's not an art tool. My dad had a sailboat, and that thing was just sitting around the house. And I was trying to use a T-square, and I saw that. I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. So anyway, and it said binnacle.com on the thing, or Binnacle. I don't think they had a website then. All right. So I'm going to draw my car being hit, and I'm thinking, I just want to quickly, it's coming this way. So here it would be if it was just flat, but I don't want it to just look flat. I really want it to look, hold on, sorry. By the way, we have Michael Green Helg here, and I can't pronounce your last name. I'm sorry, Michael, but he said it's the first time he's been here. I saw that just before we started, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Thanks for coming. I just wish I could pronounce the name properly. Okay, so if I draw this flat like this, by the way, it's too long. It would look odd being so long. So I would shorten it. It'll look like it's just sitting and one's kind of bumped into the other. So what I want to do is kind of angle it like it's crunching in toward us. So I'm going to angle it more like this. Have my bumper flying off. My hood, the wheel. I'm just roughing stuff in. I mean, you could find reference for this kind of thing. Glass.
I don't know how I'm going to draw this one. Hold on.
Okay. Well, this is where, honestly, finding reference, like, you get, what are those movies? You know what I'm talking about, that.
Yeah, like Heat and
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, stuff like that really help with this kind of thing. And I would actually do that. If I was drawing a comic, I would have to look at something for this because it's a little specific. And I would
like you can kind of freeze frame a scene or something.
Yeah. So here's the car. I mean, and I could do this. And again, deadline's bad enough. I would just kind of fake it like this. Like here's a headlight and a bunch of glass. And I know my impact is just about here. So what I could do is just, I want it to kind of line up. I don't want it to be too mechanical, but we'll do it just about like that. And just kind of rough these in. This is where having an inker is so nice, because with an inker, I really would be able to just get away with doing this, where it's just really a little loose. And then, poor Danny Mickey is killing himself for, half a day. Or Jimmy Reyes, who is here. Okay, so there's my, and I'll put some smoke coming off of it. And my other point was just about here. So yeah, this would be my ground. I'm going to draw some sidewalk here. I could put, and I'm just kind of, and this is how I would draw a panel too. I'd say, you know what? Do I think a street or a street light would kind of work here? So I'm just roughing that in. Maybe fire hydrant, just a few things in the foreground. I could put some paper flying through the air. And, some people standing on the other side. You said it was in a city, so this is where I would start to really get in with some buildings. I'll put a floor here, so I got a window, another floor down, another window. I don't want to get too detailed with this stuff, though, because I really don't want it to take away from what I'm doing in this panel. And also, I want to have some speed lines. So if I get too crazy with some of the building detail, it'll start to... Anyway, so I've got some buildings kind of roughed in here. We draw another piece of paper here. I don't want to draw a ton of stuff on the foreground because it'll interfere with it. But some flying paper really works. And then I can just use the lines that I already have established. And
way too fast for me. Yikes.
Well, your time is coming anyway because the next one is for you.
Oh, you'll beat me there again. That's why you get paid the big bucks. Not your first rodeo.
No, yeah, I've done a ton of these, and that's the thing. Like it gets faster and easier as you go. So yeah, there you go. There's basically my panel. It's crappy, obviously, but it's got everything I need that I could go in there and clean it up. And let's say I want some shadow down here, underneath it, and really kind of realize this. Even this, even the detail I'm putting in is very loose, but I don't want to keep you guys here all night while we slowly work through detail and panels. It really would not, I don't think, be helpful for anyone. Not the point of what we're doing. So there it is. There's mine. I cannot believe how fast you're drawing that. I'm actually, I gotta say, this is so much, by the way, for everyone watching, this is so much pressure for Eric because we've actually been working on some panels just really 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more. You had really never done this.
Yeah.
And it was a real struggle. And I mean, you've come along so much, but until you've drawn a ton of comic pages, doing it fast, it's tough. So, a big shout out to Eric, hopefully from everyone watching for the, the kind of pressure that comes with drawing something like this.
My pencil is slick from sweat.
Good.
If
Sheldon Martin has a super...
If I tap it, you'll probably see like splatter on the paper.
The problem is you don't have grungy tape all over your pencil.
Yeah. I need that. I need that tattoo tape that'll suck up.
Yes, actually, you know what? I was trying to find the tape. Dan Lazard gave me some tape, some tattoo tape. I was trying to find it. Our dog Eve, the end of her tail keeps bleeding, and so Meredith put a Band-Aid on it, cleaned it up, put a little bit of alcohol on it, and then bound it up with the tattoo tape. I'm like, oh, there it is. So yeah, it's upstairs. So I need to go grab it. Sheldon Martin has a super chat for $5. Thank you very much, Sheldon. He says, dang, 15 days took forever. Glad to see you guys back and the chat. What's up, Homebreys and Homebrettes? Homebrettes, that's a word. It's not a word. There's no way.
Nice.
All right, you ready to move on to the next one?
Sure.
I just want to quickly say, not to give you a hard time.
That's right.
But those windows are definitely way too big.
Yeah.
In relation to the
this
truck.
one here?
No, the windows in the back.
Yeah. Well,
that's one thing. It takes a little bit to really get used to just drawing things and make sure that things are kind of working in relation. There you go. That works. Amateur artist says, wow, this panel was super fun. The perspective was a challenge. Yeah, for sure. It definitely was. And you can see how I've got a real angle here. Now, this would work. What I would do, and I see comics like this, especially older comics, I could just go dark with it. And then you just, it's like it's at the bottom of the panel. Like you just fake it. I didn't want to do that. And I generally prefer not to do that as much as I really like how that works. K-Pack has a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, will this be on the Proco class? I signed up. Thank you so much for signing up. It will not actually be on the course. This is but I'll tell you what, it will be on the course in the sense that this is a lot of what we're doing for the course. So I'm getting a reverb. Actually, I want to show you guys. Let me find this here quickly if I can. I'm going to show you guys the page that I ultimately drew. Okay, hold on. Let me get it up here. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay, this always takes me forever. Allow. Okay, here it is. So yeah, this is the page that ultimately is in the course. And there are actually 3 pages in the course. So there are 2 that I lay out much more like what we're doing now, except with a little bit more time. This is very, very rushed. So there's more time. And then I go through pencils and then through inks. This is actually inked a few different ways. I can't remember. This panel here, can you see my mouse spinning around?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this panel here, I inked on a really loose pencil drawing. So it's basically drawn with ink. This one here, I did almost entirely with brush. Actually, I think entirely with brush, pretty much, except for the background, which you'd be foolish to try and do that with a brush, I think. But the figures are all brush. This one here is done the way that I do all of my work. And it's a micron and then like a synthetic, what do you call it? The Tombow pens. All the tools are in there. And this top panel is done with a quill. So a quill in traditional dip brush. So, I tried to use as many different techniques as possible. And you can see that, like with this panel here, it's all the same techniques. I put a 3-point perspective in the exact same way that I did here. There are a bunch of panels in there, and it really runs through the whole process. So there you go.
Mr. Papa has a super chat. Sorry. Thank you so much for what you're doing. It's been a great help. Are your Proco classes going to be posted weekly?
Okay, I don't know. I can tell you this. I just did a new intro and some extra audio for the first segment, and I just got all the stuff through segment number 5. So I know it's all going up fairly fast. Now the course itself is entirely done. It's been done actually since March, but just doing some of the final stuff just to make sure that it's got everything it needs. So yeah, it should be up the whole thing pretty quickly. Michael Greenhelg, I'm so sorry, Michael, says, "You're amazing, Dave. Great details. Thank you so much." All right, I'm going to grab another piece of paper, Eric. I really should have got more paper, and we're going to work on my idea. And I think there's enough time. It's only 8:43. We should be able to do another one. All right. You know what? Maybe we'll do your second idea.
Oh, dear. Okay. Let's see. That was one.
Okay.
Dewey the Amateur. Hey, David and Eric, I'm an aspiring comic book artist and was wondering, how do you go about drawing panels? Just like this. Just like this live stream. Yeah, definitely go back, rewatch it. And when David was going over his layouts and everything, that's pretty much the process.
Yeah, it really is. And another thing that I really covered in the course is reading a script, interpreting a script, and all the things that kind of go along with that, because this is a little bit into the process. So, and then once you've done that, what I'd like to do is, I do a couple of layouts. I do just a tiny little one, just like this, and it's so small you can't really see it. I'm not going to zoom in, but if it's a 5-panel layout, I read what the panels are, I decide what the most important panel is, and let's say it's this one here, and I'll draw that one nice big. I'll put panel here, 2 panels here that are less important, and then maybe a last panel here. And I'll see if my story flows with that layout. And if it doesn't, I'll just try another one, and I'll say, okay, maybe I want my top 3 panels to be like this. and then a big panel, and then a panel down here. You know, so you can try a couple of different ideas like this, and then from there you go in and design the individual panels themselves. Dark Era New Vegas has a $10 super chat. Thank you very, very much. He says, Proco should thank you for my purchase. I only bought this in his anatomy course because you put your course on there. Not really, but finally bit the bullet. Thanks to you. Can't wait to get through it. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, there's my course on there, but Proco has been known for a very, very long time for, I think, you know, peerless anatomy courses. You really can't get better out there. All right. So you ready for my idea?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So what I'm thinking is like a throne room. So a guy sitting on a throne, huge pillars. So like just a really big shot with somebody chained up in front of the throne, you know, like a prisoner, basically. You know, like, I don't know, 20 feet, whatever, in front of the throne. So yeah, that's basically it. Now, I would say if you want to do something like futuristic or you want to do something more old-fashioned, whatever you want to do. So that's all I got, really.
So going by, you know, discussions that David and I have had, let me just let me draw this a bit lower. I can't really move my page because I have a look on my...
I'm sorry, Eric. James Largest has a $4 super chat. $5. I'm sorry, James. It says, Dave, thanks for the phenomenal Nuri cover. Eric, you're doing an awesome job in the sketch and the paintings too. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, just going by what, you know, David and I have spoken about before. You don't want your shots to be static, kind of like head-on shots. While certain panels might call for it, you kind of want to vary the camera angle as much as you can and kind of get cinematic. So first thing that comes to mind for me is like a high-angle shot, you know, third three-point perspective. So let's see. It's going to look a bit light here, but I'm just so I'll probably have a point up here, which you can't see. Probably a point up here somewhere.
So you're looking down at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm keeping.
And it looks like you had kind of like this. So your horizon be just about up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now these lines here I'm keeping a bit parallel, but the point will be way off to the side.
Yeah. So like, you know, I actually, since I'm drawing so small, I could probably get it in there, just maybe about there, but still off the screen.
Yeah. And then just to kind of force the perspective a bit to show the pillars, I'll probably have my third point down here somewhere.
I can't really see your. Okay. So
yeah, my other vanishing point's way off to the side.
And then your other one was here.
Yeah, around about here. Well, maybe even to the left might be better.
Yeah, I would warn you that you don't want to be inside your view area. Like, you don't want to be lined up in here because you'll end up coming out and then you'll have problems. So you'd be better off just about here.
You shift it, yeah. Even over. I can probably freehand a bit of it, but
I want to bring this one down just a little bit too. So I'm a little worried just in here. Okay. That's your throne?
Just to kind of walk up to the throne. So the throne will probably be around here.
Okay. So basically like Juan Coates has a question. He says, how do you adjust the dynamic figure to a perspective layout? That's like very hard. I'm going to mess this up because you're doing this, and so I'll just let you do it. And I'm going to show you how I would go about that. So I'm going to draw a character just from the side, really, and I'll describe this quickly, Eric, because I know you're kind of.
Okay.
And so here he is, he's running, you know. And if I want to draw him in perspective in this, I'll draw him in this shot. His shoulders are going to be here. I want to angle it because I actually had the other arm forward, so I'm going to angle it this way. There's his arm, his head, his other arm is going to be back here. And I've got his leg here and his hips, everything lines up in my perspective. So that would be basically how I would get him. It's so loose, you can't even see it. I get this from editors too. I'm like, they look at my layouts and like, what the heck did you just draw? Let me try something different. Or you know what? Let me at least erase it down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so
I kind of came off perspective here because I didn't want to have a tangent here, so I'll have to fix that when we draw the actual piece. But
all right. Give him a huge foot. So there you go. That's basically how you do it. So I'm just making sure to line them up with the perspective. Yeah, that looks great. So the throne is kind of here.
And then the chained up guy over here, or a prisoner, whatever he is.
I blew mine with the way I put my third point. If I draw another pillar, I'm going to end up with a pillar that cuts right into my panel.
Yeah.
So what I could do,
I'll have to move this point over a bit to the right.
I think actually I have an idea. So I'm going to draw a pillar here and make it dark. Tell me if you think this works. And then I could draw another pillar here, and then it maybe could kind of frame the shot a little bit. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And then I'd have like more of the room here, you know,
Yeah.
except that I don't like it. It's going to take a little bit of work. I like how you did yours more.
And maybe like a window with curtains or something. I don't know.
You have a very friendly throne room.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you want like daggers and swords? I can put a sword on the wall over here. Oh, you want the Iron Throne, right?
Right, with all the swords?
Yeah,
no. I mean, hey, you know what? It's your panel. You can do what you want, but wow.
Probably have like sconces or something on the pillars with flames.
Yeah, so there's my person on the floor there. Pillar. There, that kind of gets the pillars out of the way. That works. There it is. Yeah, how you had it it works much better. I'll draw my curtains.
And then maybe a painting above his head with the previous king, his dad or something. I don't know.
All right, like that. Oh, see, you have more room up here too. There we go. Wall sconces.
Huh?
Well,
yeah. Then I don't know, maybe, do you think we should frame the corner with like a chain or something hanging from the roof here? Or
Sure, yeah. I'm just going to draw it as a line. I don't want to draw a chain in a layout. It's too much work, but
maybe add another one crossing over it or something. I don't know if that's too... Yeah, maybe another pillar here would frame this portion.
Yeah, oh, you've got 3. I only have 2. Well, I can only fit 2 into the way that I did mine. Yeah, it looks great. I really, you know what? Yours has a much more dramatic angle. And I think when I did my perspective, I didn't capture it the way that you have it there. So when we do this a little tighter,
yeah,
I'll try and change mine up a little bit.
Yeah, it's coming a bit off perspective here from this pillar, but if I kept it at this point, it would have created a horrible tangent here. It wouldn't it wouldn't look like pillars.
Yeah.
So we'll have to move this a bit this way.
Tom McCart says this is a cool shot. Sheldon Martin says, "Hey man, nice shot." I think that's a reference from a song.
Yeah, it is.
Supersonic.
What is that? Tool, I guess.
Whatever it is, yeah. Supersonic says Eric is killing it. And Vincent Usan says, "How do you get so fast at sketching? Any tips to get fast at sketching?" I would say it's not something you want to pursue. Getting fast at it, it will just happen. The more you do it, it'll come. You don't really want to be.
So
aiming.
funny story. I've had to slow myself down. I remember when I first got David's Noman DVDs, they were fast forwarded a little bit, and because of that, I started drawing faster. It was like a conditioning from following with the DVDs. So I've actually had to slow myself down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's filter. There we go. Yeah. Not tool.
Most unique channel name Meredith has ever seen or has seen says, "Let's go, Eric." And Allison McGlone says filter song. And I think that reminds me of filter. Sheldon Martin says filter. So, all right. What did I do with my ruler? Are you going to try a different angle first?
Yeah, maybe a more like a wide angle. Tilt the camera angle a bit.
Tom McCart says, "Something I learned when drawing, be like water." I don't know. I got that from Bruce Lee. Solid advice.
Yeah, so maybe the chained up dude. Closer to the camera, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see how you're. Yeah. All right.
And then have the throne, maybe a pillar over here. Maybe another one here to frame it. Let's see. Something I struggle with a lot is scale in a panel. I'm always worried zooming out too far, but
I would say this, Eric, just quickly.
Uh-huh.
So you got your panel here, and you've got the floor here. The guys on the floor. I would definitely draw your point from there, make that your horizon. You can just make that dark then, because otherwise you'll fight with the floor.
Oh, gotcha. Just kind of shade it in.
Yeah. Now, and I'm going way too much with it. Oh no, I guess I'm not. You want it because you're looking into the panel. There you go. Okay. And then the other angle would come up to here, pretty far out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Similar issue that we ran into with the truck, actually, where the floor could kind of conflict.
Yeah. He's probably a bit too high up here, but let's see.
Lord Parzival says, actually, it would be liquid advice. It would be.
Maybe have some steps.
Nice.
And then the picture of his dead father up here.
Oh, Eric, actually, sorry, be aware. So you've got your horizon here. You got one point here, and that's what's coming out towards you.
Yeah.
And your back wall would be the opposite point over here.
I'd have to bring that down.
Yeah, it would be more like it would line up this way, as opposed to you've got it lined up to the other.
Gotcha.
Unless you want to go very flat, but I wouldn't want to do that. You really want to have that. There's the guy in the throne, you know what I mean? And then your guy would be in perspective all the way through.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, these low angle shots are pretty hard for me.
They get really easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a little bit to get kind of the hang of it.
Cool. And then let's see. Thinking maybe if we had If you had the chained up, let's see, the chained up guy over here. And then the guy on the throne over here, maybe. And then if it's 3-point. Maybe have the pillars here.
Well, I would just say though, so you've got the guy here, and then if you have the guy in the throne here, that works. But then I would say your horizon, the guy in the throne is higher.
Oh, okay.
Your horizon would be fairly low there. So you would really want, because your horizon's here, your third point it always gets larger towards you. So you'd want your third point to be more like this then.
Okay.
As opposed to the other way. It's very easy to do that. So you're
Oh,
probably
yeah.
Turellas. Oh man, I need Meredith here. Toruelas. If only so I have somebody to blame when we can't pronounce names. Arts, and I'm sorry. Toruelas Arts. I apologize. Says, how about an angle close-up shot of the person on the throne, and then the slave person facing him on perspective.
Oh, was actually, yeah, that's another possible shot too. Is have the king or whatever over here. Your panel is like that, looking down at the chain.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I like how you did that. Actually, I'm gonna do basically the same thing. So you got the king, and you know, he's resting on his fist. Lean forward. That's his ear. And then you see the captive right here. I don't like how I framed that. I'm going to try and reframe it. So the reason I didn't like it is they're very, I really want to have the king kind of looming over him. A little more like that, just so he's a little more dominant. And I can even shadow it.
Right.
I'm shadowing this actually. If the silhouette works, I don't know if this is going to work. Like I'd have to kind of look at this to, like that hand is not working. Let me try the other hand. I hate to say, oh, hey, if I can't make it work, I just switch hands. But guess what? Sometimes. All right.
Yeah, so many different ways to go about it for sure.
Yeah.
It is kind of difficult too with one panel because you need context. You need surrounding panels as well to kind of. But yeah, I mean, if it's an establishing shot, then it's, that kind of helps too.
Yeah. Hunter McKinney says, how do you deal with not having motivation to draw? Some days I just hate art, and then other days I spend 12 hours a day drawing. Any tips on staying consistent? You know what? That happens to absolutely everybody. It's a challenge, and it's so rewarding and so much fun, but it's a challenge, and you will fail, and that fear of failure is very often what makes you not want to do it. I would say, really go with the days, and I do this. The days that I'm really motivated and I'm just really enjoying it, I spend forever, and I just take advantage of it, and I draw until I pass out. And the days that I'm not as motivated, I force myself to do it because it's my job. And before it was my job, is because I wanted it to be my job, wanted it to be my life. So I would force myself to do it. But there were days when I just wouldn't get as much done and it wouldn't be as good. I think you have to decide what you want, from your life, and then accept the fact that you won't be motivated, and work through those days with discipline. So, Eric, what do you think? You ready to do the final panel?
Yeah.
So, which version are you going to go with?
Do you think we should do this one?
I really like that one. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to say another one just because that first one's going to be hard, but I think that's a good thing, right?
Whichever you think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start to just roughen a panel here. I'm using the hashes on my board. These things here, you can see I can just line up my ruler to those. There's one on the other side, so you can't see it. It's off the camera, but makes it nice and easy. Oh, ruler sticking. Really getting a sticky ruler all of a sudden.
Probably got some paint on there, acrylic.
Yeah. All right.
So you're going kind of full screen on that one, huh?
Full screen?
Kind of just a square, a perfect square.
Well, that's what you had pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
It was more of a square panel, so.
Yeah. Just gonna try and go exactly with what you're doing there. Oh.
It's your panel. I'm trying to follow.
No.
Jerry Roscoe. I'm sorry, Jerry has a $20 super chat. Thank you very much. It's good to see you here. Says, I'm thinking next time you guys do this, you could start with one description and then do multiple layouts on establishing shot, splash, and middle sequence of panels to show the same scene handled differently for different users. Yeah, we will definitely have to do this again, and I think we'll take a few different approaches, and maybe like start with a script and really run through a page and have some fun with it that way. And I really do like trying different angles, which we were able to do here. And this is really how I do it, and how you do it too, Eric. Is just burn through some really simple drawings and kind of get an idea of what works, and then go for it on the page.
Right. Okay.
Alec Aubert is here. He has a $2 super chat. It says, "Hey David, hey Eric, looking good."
So I think the angle of the back wall was about there.
Okay.
I think the 1/3, another our third point, we wanted more to the right so that we don't have that pillar problem.
Right. Now I'm thinking, I'm looking down at that scene quite a bit. So I'm going to put my horizon, I'm going to give it a try up here. Nice and high.
Yeah.
And the shot was coming out this way pretty much, right? So it's going to be about there. And I'm going to give that a try and see what we get.
Yeah, I know digitally they have all these cool ruler tools as well that kind of help with this kind of thing. But
yeah, they do. They do. And you still need to I think however you do it, you still need the ability to do these kinds of breakdowns.
Yeah.
If you're relying on that ruler tool just to figure out your shot, it's going to make it very difficult, I think. Right. Look at this. I don't know. I'm good. Okay. I actually went in the panel, something I said I shouldn't do, but I'm going to try it because when I did it the first time, my way, it didn't work. All right.
I apologize to everyone. For some reason, my camera does not pick up pencil lines very well. I'm still trying to get the settings all figured out, but I'll draw a lot darker here in a bit.
So I drew a line along the top. I want it to be about there, and then I want the one, on the bottom to be about there. And I don't want to have to find a line that's, a mile down the road. So if I have those there, I can kind of figure, hey, that's about halfway. And then I'm just going to start kind of guessing them in. It gets easier the more you get in there. And all the time I end up with lines that kind of aren't right, and I have to do a little adjusting, but it's still easier than using an outrageously long ruler.
Yeah, I know there's another. I'll talk about it now. Let's see.
Okay.
I know also, like, if someone has a layout where there's there might be a building roof over here in your layout, and then maybe like another one over here that you've drawn as a test. I've seen what some folks do is they'll draw lines through that one, kind of like what you did, and then they subdivide here, and then you can kind of get that measurement and apply the same measurement this side, so they don't have to have these outrageously long viewpoints.
Yeah, and I have seen that. But you did say measuring, and
yeah.
The minute you have to measure anything, I'm done. Forget it.
It slows down the process. Huh?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, that's the kind of thing you use until panel 5, and then you're like, okay, forget it.
Yeah.
And this is where it really is a production technique that works versus in the ideal world, if you have forever to, and I don't think it actually improves it anyway. I really don't.
Yeah, it looks too static. For the same reason that you might freehand a building versus use a ruler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess the third point, I know it failed on the layout. So I wonder if we should draw, if it's a good idea to draw the main subject for. Are you just going to do it, huh? Okay,
yeah, I'm just doing it, but you know what? Sorry, go ahead and work through it the way you're going to work through it. I don't want to. I'm just over here. Vincent Yusan says, Dave, when are you going to do a stream for member art critique? Yeah, I apologize. I was planning on doing one before now. Robert Marzullo actually we had a huge rain a little while ago, and he had some major construction cleanup to do after that one. So we weren't able to do it when I was kind of planning before. I'll have to contact him and see if another time is good. And if he's still a little busy, I think we'll just have to go ahead and do it here, and then we'll just try and get another one with Robert when he can do it. All right.
So a person mentioned lowering my ISO. I don't know if I can do that on this software, but I'm definitely going to research it, because I definitely want folks to be able to see what's going on here.
Yeah, we can't lower the ISO on a webcam, unfortunately, but you can make it a little darker. But I think, yeah, it's incredible. It's so light I can't see it at all. It's all right though, because once you get started, I can see it.
What's cool is I don't really have to erase it now. I'll just leave those there. When I bear down, at least I don't have to line it down for everyone.
Yeah, Michael G. And that works for me, Michael. I'll call you Michael G. Says, I hope you will be doing the painting streams again. I love them. You are better at it than you think, Dave. Well, thank you very much. Is a Daredevil painting stream out somewhere? No, you know what? We just painted that on our own. Actually, you know what? Well, Eric, while you're kind of getting that set up, I want to show you guys what we've been working on lately.
Oh, yeah. I have mine right here as well.
Yeah. So Eric and I have been doing, so we had Dan DeSantos on a couple weeks ago, and I highly recommend you guys check that out. He's a not only incredibly talented and has an incredible understanding of what he does, but he's also a great teacher. So anyway, I wanted to do some just thumbnails of paintings. So the first one, this was Erick's choice. I did a Boris. So it's just like you can see, it's tiny. It's just a little thumbnail sketch. Erick, you have yours there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Erick. So we both did that. I think, what did that take? 2.5 hours, maybe?
Yeah, about 2 hours, 2.5 from sketch to final.
So very, very loose, but they were fun. And then the next one, this is a Jeffrey Jones painting. Now, obviously, you can imagine the original paintings look, infinitely better, but they're just small, just studies, just to kind of get a sense of the color and have some fun with it. And I'm having a blast with it.
Yeah. So these, like David said, these are pretty small.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun to do. And I actually would like to do one of these on a stream. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll have to do it soon. But yeah, that's kind of what we've been, doing lately. All right.
So going, I guess, by what rule of thirds, I guess the throne should probably be around about here.
Are you having to lighten down your lines with an eraser, or are you able to just go right in?
I'm just going to go right in.
Okay.
I mean, it would benefit me, but I think folks can probably barely see it now. If I were to erase it now, they wouldn't see anything.
Sure.
Or if I were to. So
K-Pack has a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, David, is it better to practice drawing comic panels from comic books in your own style to learn? How do you determine different perspectives in panels? Well, how do you determine? So first of all, you have a couple of different types of shots. You have a low shot, and that would be, I'm going to draw, here's a little panel, and there's another one, and there's another one. And so a low shot would be you're looking up at the subject, and that means that your horizon is low, and you could have the horizon here or even all the way down. That's a choice. If you want it like an extreme angle, then you would have a 3-point perspective. So your third point would be pretty close, and it would give you something like this. And then your subject would be in a pretty extreme perspective. You're looking up at it like that. So that's basically, and the way that I've done that, I've got my horizon just about here. I think about there. And so that's basically looking up at a shot. Looking down at the shot is just the inverse. And so now I've got my horizon up here, and I'm going to draw a person standing there. You're looking, so here's the top of their head into the panel like this. And so I'm going to draw a point down here. And this panel here, this just represents, if you look up at the sky here, this would be where you're actually looking directly at, right? Am I wrong? I don't even know. My understanding of some of this stuff is really not what it is.
The horizon?
Yeah. Well, the horizon is where the horizon is your eye level.
Yeah.
This point here would be where you're looking. You're not looking out, that way. While your eye is, you're standing up here, you're actually looking here. And so here's my next panel. And so I've got a guy, he's in perspective. There you go. And then, your other kind of a shot is just like a direct on shot. So it's just flat. And, different shots have different uses. So, if you really want to see somebody's expression, you want to go with something more like this. If you want to, have something maybe a little bit more mysterious, or you want to make somebody look, weaker, you look down at the shot, and looking up at a shot can make something look really monumental. Like if it's a figure, you can imagine, like, you really want to make them look imposing. You could do basically that kind of a shot and really make them look, huge in the panel just by looking up at them like that. And so I've just sketched in a guy here, but what I'm imagining is my point like this, my horizon's down here, and you can see my body is kind of conforming to perspective. All right. Oh, Tom McCart is out. He says, well, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you have a nice night. School has to do this to me, but I'm so ready for the review stream. Well, thank you so much for coming, Tomic. Good luck with school. Our 12-year-old is going to school tomorrow. It's his first day, and our 17-year-old, soon to be 18, is starting university. He's starting on Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, so moving that point over definitely fixed the pillar being tangential to this pillar, so that helped.
I'm way out of perspective. Let me fix that. So I have one detail here and the other one's off of perspective up here. Let me just bring that down. There we go.
So the problem with having the third viewpoint here is some of these lines clash with some of the other perspective lines. It's hard to pick it out.
Yeah, I run into that a lot. It's true. So I've got my guy sitting on my throne.
Wow, yours is pretty detailed. Yeah, let me flesh this out a bit here.
And I'm going harder than I would go. Like I'm pressing harder just because I want this to be clear. But what I would do, like this kind of detail, I would do a little bit looser, and then this would be stage one, and I'd do a little more detail on top of this. But I'm just kind of getting everything in there. And you said like a big portrait above them.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see the benefit of having the perspective here, because now I can just put a portrait up on the wall, no problem. I've got the perspective already there without having to refigure it out. There. Guy in armor. I don't know. This is the worst. But I'm always torn with these kinds of things when it's just really ugly, cheap drawing. The point is to get it all kind of established, and I could draw that, from here and make it nicer. And I know you can too, Eric. But right now, it's getting everything established. That's my excuse.
Yeah. Let's see.
Give him like a rug, carpet.
Bear rug. It looks so good.
Yeah, no. And got my person on the floor here.
Let's see.
I'm gonna give him like a stone floor. I'm just obviously pretty cheap, but
Yeah.
Flaming Walls sconces. I'm just making stuff up right now, but this is actually one thing that's very fun for me to do is just creating a scene like this, you know, and then just kind of creating the elements that go into it and getting it all kind of. It's like you create your own little world, and the more detail you put into it, obviously, the more it brings it out. But this is just kind of getting it all established right now.
I wish I had this much patience.
Don't we all?
Yeah. I guess a lot of the stuff you can just throw some music on or a television show. I think, Dave, you watch a lot of series, right?
Yeah, well, I've been watching a lot of Formula One right now. Watched Max Verstappen just win. It was a great race.
Where were they racing?
In Holland. And he's like the local, he's from Holland. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was a big deal. People were thrilled. Story by Osmosis has a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And he says, "Hey Dave, what are some of your favorite influences, artists for paneling and perspective?" Well, I mentioned earlier. Who did I mention earlier? Man, my memory. Brian Hitch.
Yeah, Brian.
Kind of looking a little rough there.
Brian
Hitch is great.
Yeah, he's got a good instructional book as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll grab it off the shelf here in a bit. I know you like Eduardo Rizzo quite a bit too, right?
Yeah, Eduardo Rizzo. Greg Capullo is incredible at storytelling and layout, that kind of thing. Oh, you know what? Another one, maybe my favorite, is Frank Quitely. Highly recommend looking at some Frank Quitely stuff.
So this is Brian Hitch's. Sorry, I'm a bit zoomed in. It's Brian Hitch's Ultimate Comic Studio.
Nice. I had no idea that he did that.
Yeah, you can get that off Amazon.
Wow, I'm definitely going to get one.
Yeah.
All right. So my other pillar kind of over here. Drawing circles in perspective is always a hassle, and I always end up doing it basically like this. It's really rough and kind of ugly, but then I can just refine it. It works. One Mighty Art has a $2 super sticker. He says, "Looks great, fellas." Well, thank you very much. That is the first super sticker I've seen in like a year. So I figured my second pillar, I'm going to draw it right about there. I totally forgot there were even super stickers. Well, thank you. All right.
Oh, we wanted a chain here, huh?
I'm going to give it some kind of a detail up here.
That's the jankiest chain you've ever seen.
Oh, you know what? I'm going with curtains.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. There's one right here. Put a window here.
Nice.
Oh, man. This is like, this is so cheaply drawn right now.
Well, take a gander here and then just see.
But it's a lot to cover, and you know, and I got to be honest, I would do it this way on like a finished page. This is exactly what I would do. So it's, you know, it's not like I'm what I would do is, and you know what, I think what actually might be kind of nice, I'm going to finish this drawn really poorly like this, and then I'm going to choose part of it and clean it up and show you, like, you really, it works. I'm telling you, totally works. I know it looks cheap and it looks awful, but this cleans up into something.
Yeah, I'm going really, really fast here. But
I have to tell you, your angle, much nicer than mine. Again, like, I'm really kind of just drawing this on my own. I'm not I'm not looking up when I'm doing this, and looking up, I really like the angle that you have.
yeah, that's a benefit of, like you said, drawing all these small little thumbnails is, it really helps in cracking that nut before you, go straight to the page. But I know, I think the more experience you get, right, Dave? Do you ever go straight to the page to a panel and start working, or do you generally?
No, I pretty much always lay out things out like this. I don't have time to do all these little layouts unless I really need to, and it depends. But yeah, generally speaking, I just lay stuff out on the page.
Yeah.
Too lazy. Okay. Yeah, you've got a much more grand hall. Mike Linux says, "What do you think of the Prince Valiant comic strip? I was impressed by the quality." Yeah, absolutely. I had all of them. Jay Fabok actually has a couple of my Prince Valiants. Right now, I need to say, "Hey, Jay, where's my books?" You know what? I'm gonna not worry. So I've got detail here that I didn't repeat here, and if I do, I could do it. Let's make sure it ends up just about here. It'll work. There we go. Shouldn't have detail on one side, not on the other.
I don't know about framing with another pillar. Yeah.
Sonato Rao says, "How long does it usually take for you to complete?" This right here would take me probably an hour and a half, or maybe even 2 hours to really draw properly. Jerry Resco says, "Eric's panel works great as an establishing shot. Plenty of room for dialogue, even if Claremont is writing." Yeah, for sure. Shonen Blast has a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Shonen Blast. "This is my first time donating to a stream ever. I am so excited to see pros at work. Number one, who is your favorite manga artist, if you have one? And number two, do you have any advice for an aspiring comic artist like me?" Thank you again very much. My favorite manga artist is Masamune Shiro. He did Ghost in the Shell, and I absolutely love that stuff. It's incredible. And so yeah, that's definitely my favorite. And for advice, I would say, everybody says draw all the time, but you have to. So yes, draw all the time, but draw smart. You want to draw things that you enjoy and have fun with it, and draw pinups and that kind of thing. But you don't really grow that way. You grow by studies. You grow by learning your anatomy and really getting it down. And if you have, for instance, manga artists that you really like, you love their style, you really need to sit down and try it. So Eric, favorite manga artist?
Oh man, I've never read manga, so I really can't say. I'm pretty sure I'm missing out on a lot. I'll take recommendations. How about that? And then I'll fix that problem, and then report back.
All right. Oh, and Story by Osmosis has a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. It says, "Thanks, Dave. I was looking at Michael Golden's urban scenes as well and noticed you put buildings on slightly different angles to set them apart. Are there more techniques like this for complex scenes?" Yeah. Okay. So While you're doing this, Eric, I'm gonna. Oh, my pencil broke here. Hold on. So it depends. If you're Greg Capullo or an artist like him, you can just basically kind of fake this, and it works beautifully. And if you're more like me and you struggle, like for me to draw buildings at different angles, the way I would do it is I'm going to say, okay, my horizon is going to be here. And so it's a simple 2-point perspective. Here's my verticals. I'll put one perspective point here. And the other one here. And I'm faking this, obviously. So, you know. And so anyway, here's a building. And here's one side of it. Here's the other side. And there you go. There's a building. If I want to put in a building at a different angle, what I'd have to do is take my points and just shift them. So I'll shift one point out to here. And so for this building, I'm going to be at a softer angle, and I'll take this point and shift it way in. And so it'll be a much harder angle with this one. It would help if I was actually going to my point. And then if I draw this building in now, it's actually at a different angle than this building. I don't know how apparent that is here. I could draw another angle or another building just completely flat onto the shot. So there you go. There's some buildings at different angles. The way to make that work is you've got your horizon, so you just adjust your points along that horizon, and you can put an infinite number of points in there. I generally don't like doing that because things get really confused fast. This is where, you know, working digitally can be very nice. All right. So while you clean that up, Eric, I'm going to go ahead and start to clean up some of my panel here and make this a little tighter.
Sure.
Just so we're not doing something. It's 9:37.
Yeah.
And I think a good way to finish would be for us to kind of, you know, bring this to a little bit more of a finish. I went really hard with it, so it's going to be a little tough. But what I'm going to do now is just lighten this down. And then I can use this as my much more useful underdrawing.
Russ asks thoughts on the new What If series. I haven't even started looking at them yet, but I heard they're great. It's the animated What If on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, you know, my son's watching those, and I'm hearing all about it. I haven't seen it yet. I will, but
yeah, I heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, he's a huge fan. He loves it. I keep hearing, you know, all about what ifs of these different characters that he did not care about 2 days ago. So, you know, well.
Yeah, my daughter's enjoying the Lego, the little blind bag surprise figures.
Yeah. He wants a Ninjago for. Kid's going to be 13. He wants a Ninjago. He's so much like me. I was 13 years old. My friends sold all their Star Wars stuff. I bought it all, and I was so thrilled. I got all the Star Wars stuff now, and then I was too old. You know.
Yeah, my entire household still collects and plays with Lego. I have I bought the Daily Bugle, the new Spider-Man set. I haven't started building it yet, but I have that, which I can't wait to build. It's huge too. I don't know where I'm going to put it.
See, you need a boy.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's really, really big into it too.
You know, that's true. She is. Yeah.
Yeah. She was all about a technique set that I built as well.
My niece, really not at all. So Meredith loves buying her presents, but I'm at a loss. All right. So I've had my picture frame in here. I'm just cleaning it up. And so, I can use the lines that I had and just be a little bit more precise. And this is where things kind of slow down, which is why I didn't really want to do this too much throughout while we're drawing this, because this can get pretty old watching somebody sit here and finagle over little lines. But I do want to show you at least, you know, something of a competent drawing. Especially with Eric doing something that looks better just on the base of it over there.
Yeah, I'm going to come to a screeching halt here in a bit.
Good. It's a contest now. So maybe you guys could, tell us what you think. Would you like to see a painting stream where we do like a master study, like a thumbnail painting from, Frazetta or Boris or, somebody like that? That's something that you guys would enjoy. Long Journey says yes. Alison McGlone says yes. Simon Kucher. Basil Gogos, Andy Tong says.
Mike Linux, sure.
Basil Gogos, I don't know if you're familiar. He did a lot of monster painting. He's an incredible artist.
What's his name?
Basil Gogos. I'll send you some of his stuff.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, Dave and I have been looking at a lot of Greg Staples stuff too. So David picks a painter for 1 week, and I pick one for another. So we've looked at like Vallejo, we've looked at Jones, and I think what we're going to do next is it's a Greg Staples piece, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's your choice next.
Yeah.
So yeah, Greg Staples next, and then it's my choice. I'm doing Boris. I'm a bigger fan of Frazetta than Boris, truthfully, but I love Boris's colors, and and that's really what I'm kind of focused on right now. So I would never have thought Boris, but it was actually Erick's first choice the first time, and it just really worked. I thought it was great. So I'm kind of getting my guy sketched in here. I don't really know what I'm doing with him. It'd probably help if I had a script that said who he is, but it's very easy for me to, use what I had and just get this. It doesn't need much detail because it's very small.
Yeah, dragon's leg grid on the floor. I remember seeing that. I don't want to get too. Anyway, I saw it at one funeral in England. What is it, Buckingham's Palace, whatever? It has this checkered type floor thing. So I don't know why that just stood out to me.
We had a checker floor in our old house. Meredith really wanted to do it. It's very classic English,
Mm-hmm.
And that thing got dirty so fast. So now we have like a brick floor, not the whole, like in the foyer, like where everybody takes their boots off.
It's a what floor?
It's brick.
Oh wow!
And it's not fully brick; it's like a brick tile. But yeah.
Have you finished it with anything, or is it does it have like varnish or anything? Or I don't know if it's varnish, but is it just straight brick?
You're getting more technical than I know how to answer. Okay, so I have a bit tightened in here, and what I'm going to do, I want to have like a shadow here. Oh, let me get those curtains in. And this is always such an important thing for me when it comes to laying these things out is establishing the shadows. It's unfortunate, Eric, that some backgrounds like this really come together with patience and trying to be really fast and do something like a dynamic drawing that's entertaining to look at. I'm so self-conscious. Can you guys tell how self-conscious I am about the fact that this is not fun to watch?
I'm pretty sure folks are getting a lot out of it. Oh wow, there's a gentleman in the chat. I'm assuming gentleman. If not, I'm sorry. Frez592. Hey, well, yeah, grandson, gentleman. I'm Frazetta's. Oh, yeah, let me just scroll up now. I'm sorry. Let's see. Hey, I'm Frazetta's grandson. Randomly got suggested your stream and decided I'd check it out. If you have any questions about anything of his, feel free to ask. Awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's great. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm gonna have to think about what. Well, definitely. We'll have to do. We did the one for Zeta study stream.
Yeah, I think that was the first one we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the kind of thing. Like, I could do a million of them, but then I don't want to just be doing, like I don't want to like rest on the shoulders of Rosetta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would definitely love to do a painted stream, and I really love Boris's painting. I love Rosetta as an overall artist. Much more. I've always been a bigger fan. Boris just has like a beautiful, like vibrant color sense. Frazetta is more graphic, and
yeah, it's very difficult to deconstruct. He was so genius with what he did.
Yeah.
The nice thing about like what David and I showed with these, it's easier to pick out some of these shapes, and then as a whole piece everything together when you're studying it. Some painters, it's kind of harder to deconstruct. So we kind of pick up something that's visually striking in terms of, can we study it in a 2-hour time frame? I think with the Frazetta piece, probably spend a lot more time trying to deconstruct it, and it'll probably be. I mean, it'll be worthwhile. Don't get me wrong, but for the 2 hours that we kind of set aside for studying, we pick certain pieces. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Okay. I feel like I want to say, okay, you guys kind of get the point. You know what I mean? Like, I could do this all day. It takes a while. It really does. And I'm starting to not have fun just drawing, the same panel.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Thank you. Yours came out great. It really did. But yeah, this is really what it comes down to. And, obviously you can take it further with shadow and that kind of thing. But we want to work on panel layout. So I think what I'd like to do, it's 9:48. It's late. We're about time to wrap up. So I don't think we're going to, you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'm going to flip this over. You described your other panel description. It was somebody behind a desk.
Yeah, it's like a mob boss or like a kingpin or whoever behind a desk. Like this fancy desk, like fish tank in the background, and like two henchmen holding someone they've just roughed up who's now in front of the boss.
Okay,
that's pretty much the scene.
Okay, so I'm gonna do for my first shot at it, just a rectangular panel, and I'm gonna do something that's like kind of straight on. So he's got the guy by the back of the head. My other henchman's here.
Lee Tasby sent a $10 super chat. There's no message, Lee, but if you want to, you just paste it in the chat, and then I'll read it out for you.
There's my henchman. I'm kind of thinking on the page. This is how I end up doing these. So it's and then I've got here's my desk, He's got his fingers. He's doing the finger bridge. You know what I'm talking about? Like this. Giving
Oh
the
yeah,
chair. And
Great.
behind him.
Getting the fish tank in there.
Yeah, so they're fish around behind him there. And that actually could really work. A fish tank is pretty light, so I could go really dark with the guy behind the chair, keep it mysterious.
The fish tank full of piranhas, right?
Yeah, really. And then shadow here. And these guys, I could do the same thing. Like I just light them so they're all kind of lit from the fish tank.
Oh, let's see if you pasted in the chat. Don't see anything from Lee.
So that's kind of my first go at it, you know,
awesome.
A little more graphic. And I think for the next one, I'm going to go. Now, I keep using panel shapes like this, like a rectangle of this kind of shape. It's just what's most popular right now, and it's what writers really kind of prefer. It's very cinematic. And since every single writer wants to sell their thing as a movie, you know, they seem to prefer it. So for this one, I'm going to do, now I don't want an extreme angle for this, so I'm going to keep my verticals just straight up vertical. And I think I kind of want my horizon to be fairly high, so just about here. And I think I'm going to have my desk. At that angle, the top of the desk can be very, very narrow. It's really easy to go way too long with that and end up with something that looks a little odd.
Yeah, that was a huge issue I had at first.
So here's my guy sitting at the desk. He's got his chair. Got his fish tank here. And then I've got the guy that is getting beat up. Sit him in a chair. And I kind of have my perspective coming out like this. So I'd want my guy to line up. That'd be about the legs of my main guy there. So that lines up pretty well. And then I could draw one thug kind of standing over him like this, grabbing his head, got his fist out. And let me clean this up a little bit. And then
Amateur artist asks about when he posts his version on IG, do I use Finchflock fine art hashtag? Yes. Yep.
my other thug can be kind of here. I kind of lost that other thug. I'm not liking that so much because you wanted both thugs in the shot, and if I put the other thug here, it blocks out this guy. So I think I would probably think twice about that shot just a little bit. And I think this kind of a shot could work. I mean, it's a very standard sort of a shot. It's not exactly, rocket science, but I would definitely want to work with some of the elements just a little bit, just to kind of figure that out. So all in all, regardless, I like this because it's much more mysterious. So I would be much more inclined to go with this one right here. And it looks like you're pretty much wrapped up with that one, eh?
Yeah.
That one really, really came out great. I think you did a great job with it. Really came together. It's a good looking shot.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, this was a lot of fun. This was definitely a challenge. I knew that this would be easy to do and very difficult to do at the same time, because these sorts of layouts are very quick and easy to do, but getting everything exactly perfect can be a bit of a challenge. Like I'm more happy with this one.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's a lot of dark, and so it could get a little confused, and I might want to kind of work with that a little bit. But like maybe I could have him dark and then a bit of a spotlight on these guys so I can see, so I could see them a little bit more clearly, and I could make those sorts of decisions. This shot here, I feel like he loses a lot of, he looks more like he's, like a school principal or something. I lose a little bit of the drama with it, but it's fine. I just don't like it as much. So I think I'd be more inclined to go with this one.
I think the backlight from the fish tank would make him look ominous in shadow, and then that contrast would, kind of draw your eye to him.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the guys, like you said, there'll be some secondary light that would be lighting them.
Yeah. And, sorry, I was just going to say, if you want to try and go through some comics that you like and try to just break down some of the shots like this, I think that actually could be a really useful exercise to do. I have to admit, when I started, I was at Top Cow, I was learning under Mark Silvestri, and I had not done enough of this at all. I was very helpless. And so I had the advantage of Mark coming around and saying, no, that's not going to work. And then, fixing things as I was going along and helping me with some compositional stuff. So that was a big help. And I think that meant that I was able to avoid some of the pitfalls that I could have run into just on my own. But yeah, I'd really recommend trying some of these kinds of layouts. It certainly will make it much easier for you to put together a comic page.
Absolutely. So Lee asked his question, or pasted the text from his super chat. Sorry, my first time. Hey Dave, I have an artist study request for John Romita Jr.
That would be a great one to do. Yeah, you know what? We'll definitely have to put that on the schedule. I think he is not only a great artist, like very, very dynamic, but also he's just got like a really simple and chiseled figure. He doesn't go overly detailed, and what he has is just very graphically, pleasing. So yeah, I think I'd actually really enjoy doing that. Lance Supportia says, and good to see you, Lance. Actually, I saw Lance earlier on too, but we're kind of running, so I didn't get a chance to mention it. He says, really great and challenging content tonight, fellas. Thank you very much, Lance. Yeah, I felt the challenge. I know, Eric, you definitely felt it. So yeah. But I mean, I think you did incredibly well with it. That shot came out really, really nicely, and it really captured the idea that I kind of had in my head more than I did myself, which I'm embarrassed to say, considering it was my idea. But there you go.
No, thank you.
Phil Finch says, "Great stream as always. Thank you so much." And Matthew Fuentes, good to see you here, says, "Hey Dave, does Meredith miss us yet?" Yeah, she really does. She's looking forward to next week. Oh, by the way, I'll be in Calgary next week on the weekend. So the stream's going to be, I'm just going to throw it out there right now and say Tuesday. Because I'm heading back Monday. So it'll be Tuesday night. So it'll be Monday. Figures. We've been waiting all this time for Monday Night Draw, and it's going to end up being on a Tuesday. But
Tuesday Night Draw.
Tuesday Night Draw next week, and then we'll be back to Mondays. But yeah, I won't be back in time from Calgary, so I will see you all on Tuesday. And Eric, you'll be there. You'll be there too for Tuesday.
Yep.
All right. And yeah, Meredith is looking forward to it. So back to the old format, and we'll still be doing. Eric and I will be doing these streams periodically too. We're gonna have a painting one coming up. John Romita Jr. That'll be coming at some point. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have one other question from JL Straw. He says, "Hi, David. I have a question. If it's not off topic, how do you find the horizon line in a composition? I'm working more with perspectives, but still have trouble choosing a horizon." Well, your horizon, like for this shot here, he's sitting there standing. I'm going to say my horizon is going to be just about here. Now, I'm kind of coming up with that after the fact, but basically, a horizon is your level in a panel. So, if you're looking at the floor and you're looking up at it, like there's a wall, maybe a doorway here, another wall, and you're just on, and there's like a person walking, and you're on the floor. What you're really, if I came out a little bit and imagine that you're actually in that panel, that would be you really kind of laying on the floor. And by the way, the horizon for this shot is here. So that would be you laying on the floor, looking up at the scene. So here's the person walking. Here's the doorway and the wall behind and whatever. So you have to imagine it like that. So, if you want to really look down at a scene, you would have to imagine that the viewer is above something and looking down at it. So to find the horizon, and a lot of times I find the horizon, I know the kind of shot that I want. Like, let's say I want a building and I'm looking at it from well above. Well, I kind of can rough in my shape like this and then just go up like this, and then I'm going to say my horizon is going to be just about here, and I'll find my horizon that way. The shot itself is more important than the horizon. I find it afterwards. So I'm looking down at it. I'm way up here. That's basically how I would go about it. All right. So we're going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to get to bed, get some sleep before work tomorrow. I'm sure you need to do the same thing, Eric, and I'm sure all of you watching do need to too, especially those of you guys that are starting school this week. So, thanks again, Eric. You want to say something?
Yeah, thanks so much, Dave. Yeah, a lot of fun going through this for sure, and also looking forward to seeing everyone back next week for Tuesday night draw.
Tuesday night draw for 1 week only. Then it'll be Monday night draw.
Yeah,
I'm still going to call it Monday night draw though.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much. Have a great week. We will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
All right, good night.